Hey, it's Mark Lynn here with your video thought for the day. Daniel, Old Testament book, in 4 minutes or so. Are you ready? Here we go. Can you imagine being thrown into a den of hungry lions just because of what you believe? Can you imagine interpreting dreams of the most powerful person on earth? Dreams that predict the rise and fall of empires. These are just a couple of the extraordinary stories that are found in the book of Daniel. I want to explore these stories in this captivating book with you. It's a book that showcases an unwavering faith in the face of adversity, and it also offers glimpses into God's grand plan for history. So first thing, let's summarize the book. This is a book of a man named Daniel who is a prophet in Babylon's court. He's a young Jewish exile who rises to prominence in the Babylonian court. You can kind of divide the book into two sections. The first 6 chapters are historical narratives. They recount Daniel's experiences. You've got his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who are thrown into the fiery furnace. And you've got Daniel in the lion's den. You've got these famous stories. And then the second half contains these apocalyptic visions that speak to the future coming kingdoms and the ultimate triumph of God and his kingdom. Kind of laid the groundwork for the book of Revelation and a lot of other apocalyptic writings that happened during a period of time in Jewish and Christian history. But throughout both of those sections, whether in narrative or in prophecy, you see themes of faithfulness for God, and even in the midst of a pagan culture. You see divine sovereignty over human affairs, and you see the promise of God's ultimate victory. So my second point with you today is a memorable verse, and it's a long one. It's from chapter 7. It's verses 13 and 14, but I love it. This is in the vision section of Daniel. And it says, "In my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshiped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away. His kingdom is one that will never be destroyed." This prophetic vision points to the coming of the Messiah. As a Christian, of course, I believe that was found in Jesus. But it's the establishment of God's eternal kingdom, themes that resonate throughout the Bible and into the New Testament. So the third thing I'd like to do before we sign off here is give you some practical applications about how we can live with conviction in this world in which we live. Let me suggest the following. Number 1, stand firm in your beliefs. Daniel and his friends remained faithful to God despite immense pressure to conform. We too can hold on to our convictions in a world that often challenges our faith. Second thing I'd suggest, seek wisdom from God. Daniel consistently turned to God for understanding, especially when faced with seemingly impossible tasks. We should cultivate a habit of seeking God's wisdom in our daily decisions and challenges. Let me give you a third idea. Maintain an eternal perspective. Daniel's vision reminds us that God is in control of history, not just our own, the world. And when facing difficulties, that should give us comfort. It should give us courage in knowing that God's plan ultimately prevails. So identify areas where your faith is challenged and prayerfully stand firm. Develop a regular practice of seeking God's guidance in prayer and scripture, and remind yourself of God's bigger picture when you feel overwhelmed by current events or personal struggles. This journey of faith in the book of Daniel gives us great glimpses of God's cosmic plan and the reward of faithfulness. That's why I've made it your video thought for today.